Hello and welcome to Straight Talk. I'm Zeynep Gökçe. In the shadow of Israel's war on Gaza, Pakistan says it's waging a different fight against the wave of disinformation circulating online. Officials warn that hostile actors, from extremist groups to foreign adversaries, are exploiting social media to inflame divisions, undermine state institutions, and weaken Pakistan's role as a frontline state against terrorism. Pakistan's government recently called for global cooperation, urging tech giants to shut down accounts linked to banned groups. Several hundred have already been flagged since the campaign started. Officials have warned that if Pakistan's wall against terrorism is breached, the fire will spread far beyond its borders. But Islamabad's push for tighter online regulation has sparked criticism from free speech advocates. One recent example showcasing the need for close monitoring of online content is the recent conflict between India and Pakistan. Misleading information has made its way into news reports. Officials have even shared stories of victory using AI-generated images and open-source footage. With strong ties to Iran and a vocal stance against Israeli strikes on Gaza, Pakistan is also using its media diplomacy to project stability. It's deepening cooperation with partners like Turkiye to counter extremist narratives. But can Islamabad keep pace with the speed and reach of digital disinformation in a region already on edge? To get a better sense of Pakistan's battle against disinformation spreading online, I'm joined by the country's Federal Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Attaullah Tarar. Mr. Minister, thank you for joining me. Now, it's been a little over a year since you took office. What are some of the biggest communication challenges your ministry has been facing nowadays?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. You see, misinformation is a global phenomenon, and countries worldwide are facing this. International organizations are facing this. So yes, misinformation has been a big challenge, but we've come up with mechanisms to counter misinformation, especially in the counter-terrorism domain, because Pakistan has had a huge battle with the terrorism in the past many years. We're a country which has laid down 90,000 lives in the war against terrorism. Our security forces, our citizens, they continue to battle these terrorists. So one of the greatest challenges has been misinformation and has been the use of social media accounts by pro-terror organizations or terrorists. So we've come up with a legal framework in the form of the National Cybercrime Investigation Agency. We've come up with certain rules and regulations. Our parliament has passed certain laws which now penalize the use of social media platforms for purposes which actually go in favor of the terrorists. So that is a challenge that we were faced with, but we have now come up with strong legal frameworks, regulatory frameworks, which is now helping us to cope up with the challenge.
Yes, and I have a number here. So at least 481 social media accounts linked to banned terrorist organizations have been identified and reported last month. Correct me if I'm wrong, but could you tell us more? How do these accounts operate and which platforms are we exactly talking about here?
You see, yes, there are multiple accounts which are promoting terrorist agenda, and most of them are functioning from outside the geographical boundaries of Pakistan. But naturally, because we are very committed in this war against terrorism, we are very committed to defeat the terrorists. So we have started reporting these accounts, and many accounts on X and other platforms which were reported, which continue to be reported. So we are very actively and constantly reporting these accounts so that they can either be banned or taken out from the platform. Our teams are at it. We have a special unit now, the Digital Communication Department under the Ministry of Information, which is calling out these accounts so that we can counter the terrorists in the non-connected domain, which is the digital media domain. So not only reporting these accounts, but we've been actually very proactively writing to these platforms to take off such content. And TikTok has been very, very cooperative. They've taken down many accounts on our request, and we expect the same from other platforms. So a lot many accounts on X were taken down as well, but a lot many continue to operate. So we are very proactive in this approach, and we continue to take down these accounts by uh, formal communications, by reporting them, and by creating a mechanism where we identify such content very, very proactively, make reports, and submit them to the concerned digital media platforms.
Yes, and recently Pakistan's for Interior, State for Interior, Talal Chandri, he stressed the urgent need for global cooperation on this issue. And he actually said, Pakistan has stood as a wall between terrorism and the rest of the world. If this wall is weakened, the fire will not remain within our borders. And you've also mentioned that Pakistan is one of the frontline states eliminating terrorism. But whose support do you need the most? How you said that X has been very cooperative, but what more do you want to see from them, from these companies?
First of all, you see, Pakistanis have paid a huge price, and we continue to do so in making the world a safer place. Because when we are combating these terrorists, when we are fighting against terrorism and the terrorist ideologies, we are not only making Pakistan safe, but we're ensuring that the world remains a safe place and a secure place. So we're making a lot of contribution in that regard. So we would like to see a more robust mechanism with regard to X, with regard to Facebook. We've had meetings with TikTok, so we are expecting that there will be more cooperation with Meta, with X, so that WhatsApp and Facebook and X, they can have their local offices in Pakistan, or they can have a special unit to deal with our government, so that our complaints are instantly registered and addressed. Because until and unless that happens, it's a very cumbersome process. And as the Minister of State for Interior, Mr. Talal Chaudhary, rightly pointed out, that we are paying a lot of sacrifices. And we would like to see these digital media platforms cooperate with us more effectively, and at a regular basis. So, an ideal thing would be for them to open a sub office in Pakistan, with which we can regularly coordinate, or in another scenario, probably constitute a special cell which can coordinate with the Pakistani government, and we can instantly send them these accounts, and they can help this. Because this is not only our cause, it's a cause for world peace, it's a cause for world safety and security. And for that, we need cooperation of digital media platforms in a more robust and effective manner. And a special cell constituted by these platforms would be an excellent initiative.
All right. And there's also fast developing technologies like artificial intelligence. And I understand these tools can help during this process. But there's also the other side of the coin, because AI tools could also be used for disinformation campaigns. And this could also be harder to detect. How concerned are you about AI-generated content which could be used to destabilize Pakistan? Do you think it could be used to destabilize Pakistan, especially during times of regional tensions?
I think artificial intelligence has its advantages, and obviously, with regard to technological advancement, and with regard to the growth of the IT sector, with regard to transparency, with regard to government efficiency, artificial intelligence does have its advantages. But with regard to misinformation, we are looking at some sort of platform where we can verify such information. So, my state television, Pakistan Television, has come up with a fake news buster in which we actually verify the artificial intelligence content which is authentic or which is not authentic. So, I think there needs to be more collaboration and cooperation between digital media platforms, between different countries, between international organizations, so that we can ensure that we are able to authenticate videos, content, news, which is based on artificial intelligence, and we are able to do that through technology. So we are working on it. Our National Cybercrime Investigation Agency has the expertise. It's a cross-ministerial platform in which the Ministry of IT, the Telecommunication Authority, the Ministry of Information, Ministry of Interior, they have collaborated in this so that there is a more effective forum in which, through technology, through our information, we can authenticate the AI-based videos and news content coming in.
Yes, and you mentioned some of the steps that you've been taking, social media regulation and content monitoring, but these can also draw a lot of criticism from freedom of speech activists. So how do you keep that balance? Where do you draw the line between freedom of speech and national security concerns? How are you addressing the concerns of the sensitivities of the critics?
I think the Constitution of Pakistan guarantees the right to freedom of speech, freedom of association, freedom of assembly, and our courts are very effectively safeguarding those rights because these are constitutional rights. We have a whole process of judicial scrutiny. We have a whole process of judicial review where an aggrieved party can approach any court of law and get their grievances redressed. So I think it's a very, very effective forum through judicial scrutiny and within the government structures also. We have a right of appeal, and this right of appeal is vested in the National Cybercrime Investigation Agency. We have an appellate forum before people can go to court. You can appeal against your application, against any grievance, against any complaint that you might have with the appellate forum. So I think we have a process of judicial scrutiny of an appellate authority to protect the rights of the people. So there's nothing wrong with that, and we are doing our best to safeguard rights through these appellate forums and through court proceedings.
All right, and could you tell us about some of the initiatives you are planning, working on currently to protect the youth from extremist ideologies and disinformation?
Yes, that's a very important question. With regard to awareness campaigns, with regard to marketing campaigns, with regard to showing the real face of these terrorists to the people, Ministry of Information is not only collaborating with the provincial governments, but also with the local governments at the grassroots level, with the education ministries, with local community workers, with the cross section of society through digital media applications. We are running campaigns in which we are showing that what true Islam is. And we are also telling the people that these terrorists, they have no religion, they have no color, caste, or creed. Their actions are based on pure violence, which has nothing to do with any religion or any country. So we are making sure that people get to see the real face of the terrorists and they have true awareness with regard to the government's initiatives to combat and counter these terrorists. So I think it's being done very effectively across the board. The ministry is very proactive in its campaigns. It is documentaries, through advertisements, through targeted marketing, through grassroots level community workers. So I think we are collaborating with different departments and governments at the local level to effectively run these campaigns where we can make the people aware that these terrorists have an agenda of violence which is against the notion of Islam and which is against the notion of humanity. So we are doing all we can to counter misinformation regarding terrorism and also to counter these terrorists in the narrative domain.
I want to shift the conversation a bit to the region, to Gaza, and Pakistan has consistently condemned Israeli airstrikes, attacks in Gaza, has carried out humanitarian aid campaigns, and actually your ministry. What challenges did your ministry face when it comes to maintaining an effective communication campaign in support of Palestine on social media?
Our Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has been very vocal for the innocent people of Gaza, and we've been condemning the Israeli atrocities, the Israeli violence, and the genocide that is going on the food blockade that is going on, the malnutrition, the children who are suffering from malnutrition. So our government, our Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has raised this at every international platform and has very effectively spoken about the plight of the Palestinian people. And we have also received great appreciation from our Turkish brothers and sisters. We've seen Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the president of Turkey, raising these issues on the international media. And the Israeli genocide, the Israeli war crimes, they are war crimes against humanity. We stand with the innocent people of Palestine and Gaza, and with their cause and the way they've been subjected to the worst kind of treatment. We condemn it. So I think social media platforms have had a bias because putting up content often gets removed. We've received several complaints from our citizens that when they talk about Gaza, when they talk about the plight of the innocent Palestinian people, content does not often get a lot of traction because there are certain filters which actually prevent that content from being viral. So I think that's a problem that is being faced. But at the local level, the Pakistani government, the Pakistani people, they are very, very committed to the Palestinian cause and to the cause of Gaza. And our media has played a great role in it. Our social media people have played a great role in it. So I would urge international social media platforms to raise their voice for this issue and to promote content which promotes and supports the innocent people of Gaza and Palestine.
Yes, and Minister Tarar, I actually want to congratulate you because you just received an award for effectively presenting Pakistan's national narrative globally during the recent Pakistan-India tensions. So do you believe India's regional policies are causing further instability in South Asia?
You see, in the war between Pakistan and India, India was the aggressor. They attacked Pakistan without any justifiable cause. Pakistan responded well within their right. We not only shot down 6 of their planes, but we also responded and destroyed their military installations. So after that war, Indian side has resorted to a lot of propaganda, to a lot of misinformation, and to basically overcome their humiliating defeat and to mislead the world. They've come up with a false narrative. India has been involved in transnational terrorism. You've seen the assassination of Sikhs in Canada, in US. You've seen that they've subjected the minorities to the worst kind of treatment. And their propaganda is not succeeding. Pakistan had a very clear stance, even with regard to the Pahalgam incident, that there should have been an impartial and fair inquiry into the incident. And India, instead of agreeing to that inquiry, they attacked Pakistan, to which Pakistan gave them a very befitting response and defeated them hands down in this war. Pakistan, alhamdulillah, emerged victorious by the grace of Allah, and India had to face a humiliating defeat. So, when you are facing defeat, you resort to propaganda and misinformation. We are countering that very effectively, and their media resorted to very baseless and very humorous kind of narrative by saying that my hometown city of Lahore, which is a landlocked city, they claim that the port of Lahore has been destroyed when everyone knows there is no sea in Lahore, there is no port in Lahore. So they made very ridiculous claims, and Indian propaganda and misinformation was countered very effectively. And this defeat that they suffered, to hide that defeat, they resorted to more propaganda, but we exposed them even more. And now the whole world has seen how Pakistan emerged victorious and India lost on the narrative front.
So how is Pakistan preparing diplomatically and militarily to counter what it sees as India's strategic alignment with Israel and the United States?
I think Pakistan's foreign policy has been very successful, and obviously we have very good relations with all countries. We've seen how Pakistan has effectively been in touch with all friendly countries, including the US, including China, including UAE, including Turkey, including Qatar, including Saudi Arabia, including Iran. So I think Pakistan has had very good relations, and I think on the diplomatic front, we've had a lot of successes. So all the countries that I mentioned, We've had very good contact with them, and they actually played a role in this de-escalation. And as you know, time and time again, President Trump played a pivotal role in the ceasefire and to maintain peace. So I think Pakistan's stance has been vindicated because India was compelled for a ceasefire, and the ceasefire took place. But our diplomatic relations with all the countries that I've mentioned are excellent. And on the diplomatic front, Pakistan has had a lot of successes. And a lot of countries have actually endorsed Pakistan's views. I think Pakistan has done well on the diplomatic front as well.
Also, I want to talk about the relationship between Turkiye and Pakistan. How would you describe the current relationship between the two countries, and how is the media cooperation between the two countries supporting that relationship?
You know, Turkey is one country with which we enjoy great brotherly relations. And I often say that Yasha Sin Turkiye, Yasha Sin Pakistan, both countries, it's two states, one nation. And these brotherly relations have only grown. And Turkiye played a great role with regard to promotion of Pakistan's narrative on the diplomatic front, in the narrative front. I think President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, his government, they're a great friend of Pakistan, and they've always stood by Pakistan and Muslim countries whenever they've been in need. And I think we really thank the Turkish government, the Turkish people, and His Excellency President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. In the media field, we have a great cooperation going on with Turkish media, with Turkish state media. We have a lot of agreements, a lot of MOUs. I was in Istanbul. I held a few meetings with the information ministry, with the state television, and we played a great role in promoting our communications further in the narrative domain. So I think Pakistan-Turkey relations are at their best, and as I said, we are two states, one nation, and we really, we're really grateful to the Turkish brothers and sisters for supporting Pakistan's cause and for always standing by Pakistan.
And when it comes to the military cooperation between the two countries, would you say that is, does it have an influence on Pakistan's foreign policy, would you say?
I think all areas of cooperation, in terms of our strategic relations, trade, investment, defense ties, we have multiple and multi-faceted areas of cooperation with Turkey. So I think overall we have cooperation in all areas, and it has really improved and enhanced in the past few years. So we look forward to more cooperation, and I think in all fields. We have a good student exchange program. We have cooperation in media, in defense, in agriculture, in investment, in IT, in the health sector. So I think all sectors, it's a multifaceted relationship which is growing further.
Attaullah Tarar, Pakistan's Federal Minister for Information and Broadcasting. It was a pleasure to have you on our show. Thank you for joining me. And that's all for this edition of Straight Talk with me, Zeynep Gökçe. If you've got any comments, please share them with us on X at Straight Talk TRT. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can find more exclusive content. Until next time, take care and goodbye.